Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Kalicatv and you're going to be a craftier person after watching this video. I needed briefed before my shift? Okay then. So I have decided to share the first time malicious compliance moment here, even though it's a small one. So a bit of background first. At this point I was working in retail. A shop that did clothes, men's, kids and women's, as well as some home stuff like curtains and the like. During this time I had been at the shop a few years, so I knew how it worked better than most. My role at this time was as a cashier. Prior to this, I was in the menswear department, and after this role, I became the cash office manager, sorting out the money the shop took and its safe. Just to explain the way the management structure worked was each department had its own manager, then there was cash office manager, an assistant manager and an overall manager. The way shifts worked normally was you came in about 15 or so minutes before you start, sign a sheet that says you're in, and you head down to the tills 5 minutes before to find out what till you're on and then start. Simple enough and was pretty casual, I would say. The people in the story are me, annoying manager, and co-worker. So the story. It was a normal Saturday shift, place was busy, tons of customers, so people needed to be served quickly. This was important. So I had started to serve a few customers when about half an hour into my shift while serving a customer, a hand grabs my shoulder and spins me around. You should be up the stairs for a briefing. I look and see a man in casual looking clothing that I had never seen before, and confused I ask him, "I'm sorry, but who are you?" He looked at me with a shocked face. "I'm annoying manager and you shouldn't be down here." At this point, I'm not sure what's meant to have happened or when this started, but I responded with, "I've never had one before in the 2 years I've been in this position." Annoying manager seems to accept that as a reason why I wasn't at the briefing and then tells me, "Okay, well when I'm a manager, I give briefings to all staff before their shift, so make sure you don't start until I brief you." He then walks away while I'm a bit shocked that A, he basically shouted this, and B, he stopped me in the middle of serving a customer so there was a witness to this whole thing. I turned around and apologised that there was a delay and finished serving them. I'm sure you know where this is going, but the next Saturday it was a similar situation. I'm on the same shift, an annoying manager is working. I get in at the usual time, sign in, and sit down waiting for my briefing. Co-worker was also there and they had the same shift as me waiting to start. I talked to them about what happened before, which they were shocked at too. It came to 5 minutes before the shift start and I remain in the staff room, not moving, with co-worker asking why I'm not going. I just respond with, "I was told that I'm not allowed to start my shift until annoying manager briefs me." Co-worker looks at me a bit confused and says, "But it's Saturday, it's really busy out there." I sit back relaxed and say, "Well that's not our problem until annoying manager is through with us." At this point, co-worker gets what I'm suggesting and sits back down. 30 minutes go by and there is a call from the service desk where the till manager is, asking why we haven't started. I answer the phone to say that I'm not allowed to start until I get annoying manager's briefing. Not 5 minutes goes by when annoying manager comes in and says, "There's no briefing today, go down and start now." So we get up and go down carrying on with the shift. Now I don't know if there was anything said or if he got in trouble, but I got informed that there is no briefings needed before shifts unless a notice was put up on the board indicating so. Annoying manager didn't stay that long, and I found out he moved to our store from a different one because he was not liked at the previous one. Gee, I wonder why. The weirder part was that annoying manager was the home department manager, so to this day I have no idea why he wanted to brief the till staff. My manager accused me of theft. He got fired. This is a long one. Way back in the early 2000s, I worked at Blockbuster Videos in the UK. It wasn't my first job, but I was still in high school when I started, so it was near as, damn it. I had a pretty good working relationship with my boss and quickly moved up the ranks as one of the deputy managers. I was the person the manager would call to cover shifts, and honestly, unless I had a really good reason, I always did the extra because I actually really liked the job. I'm a film nerd, so I love spending my working days talking to customers about movies. It also didn't hurt that I could rent any movie anytime for free. So this one particular Saturday, we were slammed. 3 staff members called in sick. We had a big new release movie that week and we had a big computer game release on the Friday too, so it was manic. Halfway through my shift, a guy comes in and says he bought a game the week before from the store and that he wanted a refund. He said I had served him but hadn't given him a receipt. Now, I did remember serving the guy but couldn't remember what he bought, and frankly, even though it's automatic to give receipts, I couldn't guarantee I had. The problem was, that specific game was the only copy we apparently had. Our inventory said it was in store, but this guy had it, so somehow it had left the store without being processed. Either it had been stolen by this guy, it had been some sort of error on my part, or I had actively given it to him and pocketed the money. To be clear, these are options from an objective point of view. I never stole from that job, so I definitely didn't do the last. My manager was working with me, so he refunded the guy, took the game back, and then, for the rest of the shift, didn't speak to me once. As we closed the store that night, the manager took me into the office and proceeded to accuse me of stealing. Without evidence, he said that I had stole the game and pocketed the money. I obviously denied the claim. Things got heated, and it ended with him telling me to hand in my notice. 2 weeks. So I did. I was heartbroken because I loved the job and I knew I was innocent. I may have given it by accident, but I would never knowingly steal. So, 2 weeks later, my notice period is up, and on my last shift, coincidentally, the area manager comes in. Now, I had quite a good relationship with the area manager. I'd been hired by them originally, and it was frequently noted by them that I always seemed to be on shift when they came in. They asked me how I was, and I said that I was sad that I was leaving. They didn't know this, so asked why. I explained the situation, and they immediately went into the office. Half an hour later, I got a call to go to the office. The area manager was sat with the CCTV footage from the day the man said he brought the game. In the video, it showed me serving him. Then as he left, he had a chat with the store manager, no sound on the CCTV, but there was clearly chatting. The manager was working in new inventory, ready to put out on the shelf. For some reason, the manager turned his back on the customer for a few moments, and as plain as day, the customer reached over the counter, grabbed something and left. The area manager assumed this was the game. Well, the area manager was called in. He was first asked why I had given in my notice, when the accusation against me deserved a meeting with the area manager and my immediate dismissal if I was guilty. The manager just stuttered something about not wanting to make a big deal. Then the area manager asked the manager to explain what happened in the CCTV after showing it. The manager just sat quietly. Well anyway, the area manager asked me at that point to rescind my notice, which I did, though I cannily asked for a few days extra paid holidays because I felt embarrassed by the theft accusation and the area manager agreed. The area manager then said that they would be taking the month's worth of CCTV footage to have it looked over because this act of negligence by the manager was a cause for concern. The blood ran from the manager's face at this point, but nothing further was said. I finished my shift and walked out with the area manager to enjoy my week off. 3 days later, I got a phone call from the area manager asking if I could meet him at the store that day. I obliged. When I arrived, the area manager took me to the office and told me there had been a situation. During the CCTV checks, it had become apparent that the manager had been using the store for other reasons. On a number of nights over the course of the month, he'd closed the store and then after the staff had gone, he invited people in. One night he'd held a poker game in the staff room. Later we found out he'd been using the money from the tills to cover his losses and putting through refund notices to cover it. And on 3 other occasions, he was seen bringing in women to have sex with in his office. Now, the women were known prostitutes in that area. The manager was also married. Well, the manager was automatically suspended while there was an investigation, and the reason I was brought in was to be asked to run the store in his absence. After the investigation was complete, it turned out the manager had been giving thousands of dollars of refunds per month and falsifying who gave the refunds so it didn't look suspicious. This had gone on for years in multiple stores that he'd worked in. So, because he accused me of something I didn't do, he lost his job and his marriage. His wife obviously wasn't impressed by the prostitutes, and I got a promotion with a lovely raise. Damn, I really like how this one ended. The manager got what he deserved, the OP got to keep their job that they loved working in, and was proven to be loyal and trustworthy to the business. Since Blockbuster's gone now, I wonder what they're doing. Want me to go to church even though I'm an atheist? Thou shalt learn the hard way. I'm going to preface this by saying I don't want to get into any religious debates, and I don't need nor do I want converted. I know religion can help people, this isn't about that. On mobile, sorry for any grammar mistakes. I was probably 11 or 12 when I gave up believing in God. I had tried to get saved multiple times and felt nothing each time, and to my kid brain, that was enough evidence that he didn't exist. My daddy was the type who went to church on Sunday morning, night, and went to Wednesday night revivals. Needless to say, he got a bit fussed at me for being so blasphemous. He told me that he planned on dragging me to church until I knew God. Okay, Dad, go ahead. I was, and still am, a calculating little jerk. I didn't put up a fight when he said I had no choice but to go to church, because I expected his reaction and had already formed a plan. Sunday arrives. First thing as we walk through the door, 2 little old ladies, lols, ask Dad and I what God's done for us lately. Dad responds, now it's my turn. I don't believe in God, so I don't think he's done anything for us. I got all A's on my report card though, so I'm doing well for myself. Something along those lines, and definitely less articulate. OP. You most certainly believe in God? How could you say that? No, really, I don't. But I still think lying is bad, so I'm telling you I don't actually think he's real. Y'all don't want me to lie in here, do you? And I look around suspiciously as if God himself were eavesdropping. They were appalled. I got whooped real good later, but it was 100% worth it because he had no argument. My dad never dragged me to church again. Did he really expect me to lie in the house of the Saviour? Pfft. Okay, so that's all for r/MaliciousCompliance. I really hope you did enjoy it. As always, if you do want to see more content like this, then please do subscribe. My Twitter, Discord, and Patreon links are in the description, and any support is greatly appreciated. I also want to say thank you to my wonderful patrons: BackwardsDDog, Deesilsnarf, Michael Flanagan, Joseph D Owens, Jens Banning, Kate McCutcheon, Skyler A, Elizabeth Filmore, and 2 Chooks. Thank you so much for your support. Mwah. That's for you, but keep it between us, okay? Thank you so much for watching. Bye!